What's the news?
Oh. An appointment and it ended about 4 o'clock.
I thought
Then
the
I
city smelled better on Thursday.
I was meeting Michael, my son Michael, at 5:30 for dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm meandering around. You know,
Okay.
like Madison Square Park and stuff.
Yeah.
And in Madison Square Park at about 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
there was a brass quintet
Oh, boy.
playing. They were hysterical. They were wearing silver like dinner jackets
Uh-huh.
and like tuxedo kind of, bow tie and stuff.
Cool.
And the instruments had streams of light on them, and the lights changed colors. And it was snowing, and it was a whole crowd of us sitting out in the snow.
Sounds delightful.
Like a couple of bars. Madison Square Park.
Yeah. Sounds delightful.
Oh, and the tuba
Yeah.
had a bubble machine. So there was a bubble.
That's cool. That's very cool. That's almost enough to make a guy want to start playing tuba. You know my tuba story? Used to be, believe it or not, musical director. We would go out every quarter and do 20 shows. 48 quarter. And then we'd come back, write the show, and go out. So for one of these shows, we went to New Orleans, Planner wants to start the night with the second line parade. Okay. Had an 8-piece band. I assigned everybody something to play for the second line parade, right? 2 weeks before the rollout, they call me back. They've changed it. They want to start with the big event. Oh, I know. The original Dixieland that one of the had 2 drums. And since my bass player only played bass guitar, I said, you're going to play bass drum. And the regular drummer was going to play a snare drum and a cymbal. Okay? All right. The guitar player, but the no guitar. The guitar player played mandolin. He had never played banjo. Okay, so it's the same way in here, right? So I handed him the tenor banjo. Play in F. The rest of the band is going to play in E flat. Play in F. Imagine that you're playing mandolin in F. So that's going to work. Now, I had 4 horn players, right? And Dixieland band uses always whatever band. Trumpet, trombone, and clarinet. Okay? So this was the band that I had, was trumpet, trombone, and 2 sax players. But one of the sax players would play clarinet. Okay, you're going to play clarinet. The other one is playing an instrument that's not in any kind of Dixieland band, playing alto sax, but I figured nobody was going to play, right? So then I look at the list, and I see there's 2 things missing. 1, there's no bassist. 2, I have not assigned myself anything. So I'm calling around and I said, send me a tool. And and now I don't know if you know, but I play trombone. So it wasn't that big a stretch, right? Also, I was writing the arrangements. So I wrote very beginner tuba friendly arrangements. So at the end of whatever this is, 3 months or something, I thought something was a tuba player. However, I will be very glad to never play it again. It's the only instrument I will be very glad to. Oh, even better. It's like 2 days before Jason's 3rd birthday. And he's in. Yes. Wanting to play this tuba, and he coaches. So now you have,
You know my Madison Square Park.
yes, I do. I think yours is better. I think you win stories too.
The trombone player, amazing. He's playing.
Uh-huh. Cool. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Central Nassau, better known as UUCCN. A little chilly today. But the spirit of community is very warm. You can feel that one too. My name is John Rolicky. I'm very happy to serve as a treasurer here at UUCCN. Getting a little reverb on the mic this morning. So today's service is led by our minister, Reverend Petra Toms, and she's also joined by Michael Sanzania, our music director, We're not having religious education this morning on account of the terrible forecast that was for this afternoon. So the issue with the heat we discovered this morning. I do recommend, I see most of you have your coats either on or with you, and I do recommend that. Thank you to Dave. I know he's leaping into action to take care of it. Another lovely thing today, we're going to be welcoming new members. I'm very excited about that. And I know Val has prepared some special food for our sweet tooth today. So we are a people worshiping together, who come from many paths, who are brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. We are here to help one another do the difficult work of seeking meaning, acting for justice, living with integrity, and walking with one another in peace and love. We hope that this hour set apart from our daily concerns will renew our spirits, strengthen our love for one another, and embolden us to bring reconciliation wherever we find division. It is good to be together.
It is so wonderful to see all of you this morning. Holy and beautiful, the custom which brings us together in the presence of the Most High, to face our ideals and values, to remember our loved ones in absence, to give thanks, to offer forgiveness, to be enlightened, and to be strengthened. Through this quiet hour breathes the worship of ages, the cathedral music of history. 3 unseen guests attend: faith, hope, and love. Let our hearts prepare them place. And now we will have our chalice lighting. Yes.
Fire is a sacred element which enhances our lives, providing us with warmth and light, and the ability to prepare our substances. When not properly tended to, it can cause vast destruction. Let this flame light our chalice with intention and commitment to love and actions that are just in this world. Love is the value that drives us forward. Justice is what love looks like in public.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte.
For our land acknowledgement this morning, we are here on the ancestral land of the Merrick. We were put upon Turtle Island to be caretakers, to gather in a good way, to be with Earth's children in all of their forms, those of the land, the water, and air. Let this land acknowledgement be the beginning of our return to unity. Let us be guardians of all beings, those who walk on 4 legs, those who fly, those who swim and crawl, and all the mammal people, the living green creatures, the energy in the rock people, and all of the created world. Let love be the foundation for living the values of justice, equity, and interdependence. And we have our opening song.
Yes.
Please rise and body your spirit for number 1051.
Nope, it's 149. That's why you have a gray hymnal. It's 149, and I'll just play a little bit of it while you look for it, and then we'll all sing it, okay?
Lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven ring. Harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Steady the road we trod, bitter chase they ride. Fell to the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat, and not our weary feet, come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over the tears and water. We have come treading the path in the blood of the Father. Out from the gloomy till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of the bright star is cast. God of our weary tears, God of our silent years, He has brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast wide thy light, let us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places I've already met thee. Lest our heart, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Although it's with thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land.
So we were to have a time for all ages, but what we will do right now is have a word about our affirmation from Benjamin. So can you explain for us what jet pigs means?
Jet pig. It stands for 6 of the 7 values because love is the most important. Love is in the center of all jet pig. J, meaning justice. E, equity. T, transformation. Now we have our pig. P, pluralism. I, interdependence. G, generosity. Now, of course, love is in the center.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now is the time for our joys and our concerns. And I just want to begin with a joy, and a concern. We were able to see our grandchild when we visited California, which is absolutely a joy for us. And of course, the concern is the wildfires that are taking over so much of Los Angeles, leaving people without their homes. People feel decimated. We look to support them. We did get to visit a UU congregation while we were out there, and we'll be looking to see what the UUA recommends in terms of how we can be supportive of the people who are looking to rebuild there. Because it's so much. And we have to be aware, climate change is real. We can't deny it. It's here. And with such a convergence of things taking place, that's what fueled those fires. So we have to be mindful and take care of our earth. And now, would someone else like to share? Yes, Valerie? Yes. Mm. Mm. Yes. Yes, that is a joy for us to be able to focus on Dr. King's message, his actions, and his dedication, and all those who worked with him because he didn't do it alone. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Terry? Mm. Mm. Oh. Okay, absolutely. Prayers for your sister and for those affected again by the wildfires. Yes. Thank you. Michael?
So, the father of Martha Banks, so often gives us all the gift of a wonderful voice, is in poor health. So I would just want to express concern.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Michael. Yes. Nikki?
On Friday, my
Oh, God bless. Happy birthday. Right. Okay, all right, yes. And for all those things that we carry in our hearts, we do carry so much. We lift them up in prayer and remembrance, and we pray for each other. Absolutely. And so now we have announcements.
Just a couple announcements today. The UUCCN Book Club meets next on January 30th at 8 p.m. The book is Accessory to War, The Unspoken Alliance Between Astrophysics and the Military by Neil deGrasse Tyson and Avis Lang. Please see the weekly update email for the Zoom info. Minister Reverend Patricia Toms will have office hours on Tuesday, February 4th at 1 p.m. All are welcome to join in the conversation. As I've been doing the last couple Sundays, just want to encourage everybody. I know many of the people in the room already volunteer in different ways to support our congregation. Say thank you, and I also ask, right? You got to keep asking, because that volunteering is really what helps sustain our congregation. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for what you can in the future. That's it for announcements. Just a reminder, in the weekly update email, we have all the dates for the bigger events in the fall, in the spring, such as the service auction and stewardship dinner. Okay, That's it for announcements. I'll move on to our offering and Thanksgiving. Thank you for your support of UUCCN. Your pledges, donations, and volunteering sustain our congregation, as we are 100% dependent upon our members, friends, and guests. Please give today when the ushers pass the collection plate in a moment, or use a credit card on our website, uuccn.org. One of our traditions is to share our Sunday collection plate with another organization whose work aligns with our values and principles. For the month of January, we support Erase Racism New York. Erase Racism is a regional organization, a nonprofit that leads public policy advocacy campaigns and related initiatives to promote racial equity in areas such as housing, public school education, and community development. The organization, which started on Long Island, is engaged in a variety of research, education, and consulting activities to address institutional and structural racism. If you are giving by check, please write "Share the Plate January" in the memo line. And thank you again for all you do to support our congregation. We are truly grateful and truly blessed by the generosity of our community.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Gonzalez, and I'm the chair of the Worship Arts Committee here at UUCCN. Words for today's peace candlelighting. Peace is not the absence of strife, but actively seeking resolutions and support to those in need. It is the willingness to put aside pride and prejudice and lean towards another with an open heart. Peace is actively seeking collaboration, community through compassion. To listen to others, putting ourselves aside, takes courage. Peace is an act of bravery in the face of division. Now for our meditation, words from Native American elders for today. Our ceremonies bring out the best in us. It's in the ceremony that we find the place of honor and respect for each other, the place where the men honor the women and the women honor the men. We dance for each other. The ceremony helps us remember our responsibility toward each other. Men and women need to be strong, to love one another and be faithful. Only by doing this can we give our children knowledge of good relationships. Our ceremonies bring out the best in us. And with that, we're going to turn to page 7 to 8, because we have some new members signing the book today. And I'd like for Terry to please come up to sign the book. And Charlotte. When they finish signing, we'll read the words, okay? We have Charlotte and Cora McDonald, and we have Terry Schoenberg. Yes, no, just. And now let us read the words. I'll read the words in bold print, and you'll read the words in italics. Number 728. Blessed are those who yearn for deepening more than escape, who are not afraid to grow in spirit. Blessed are those who bring their children, who invite their friends to come along, to join in fellowship, service, learning, and growth. Blessed are those who know that the church is often imperfect, yet rather than harbor feelings of anger or disappointment, bring their concerns and needs to the attention of the church leaders. Blessed are those who speak their minds in meetings, who can take and give criticism, who keep alive their sense of humor. Blessed are they indeed. And now we have,
Yep,
what number is that? Because of course I didn't put the number.
do the best I can. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Until the king of black men, black mother's sons, is as important as the killing of white men, white mother's sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. The older I get, the better I know that the secret of my going on is when the reins are in the hands of the young who dare to run against the storm.
To me, the young people come first. They have the courage where we fell. And if I can but shed some light on them, hope will carry us through the gale. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Struggling myself don't mean a whole lot. I've come to realize that teaching others to stand up and fight is the only way my struggle survive. I'm a person who speaks in a voice, and I must be heard. At times I can be quite difficult, and I doubt if no one's word. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Not needing a pledge for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be one in a number as we stand against tyranny. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Thank you, Mike. Out of the mouths of babes comes the lessons we need to learn. On Christmas Eve, I was sitting in the hallway of our congregation with Benjamin, and I was asking him to tell me about his thoughts on our UU values. Well, he said, love is the most important, but I think after that comes justice. He shot his arm up into the air, then transformation. I heartily agreed, and we both high-fived on that. But I think if we are going to bring love and justice into reality, we will need truth to be the engine that drives us to transform into a beloved community. The truth is essential. I also want to warn you that the truth is difficult to hear, especially since we are so unfamiliar with its content. So I'm sharing with you a lot of what I've read in this book. My friend Paula Cole-Jones had recommended it and assigned me a chapter, which was fine. And I said, you know what, I think I'm going to focus on this for our sermon, for our teaching. It might not be a work that people are super familiar with. Where do we go from here? But it really starts to break down things that we need to know and would help us with our journey. As a nation, we have played fast and loose with the truth. We have created wonderful narratives about our God-given rights, as we have strived to create a national narrative about who we are and what we are about. Now, in this volume that Dr. King has written, he does a lot of truth-telling, from the inception of our country's origins all the way through to his lifetime. I do wonder if what he shares is common knowledge for all of us. Here he speaks specifically about race and how it came into being in the U.S. through enslavement. First, let him describe for us racism. Dr. King says, racism is a philosophy based on a contempt for life. It is the arrogant assertion that one race is the center of value and object of devotion, before other races must kneel in submission. It is the absurd dogma that one race is responsible for all the progress of history and alone can assure the progress of the future. Racism is a total estrangement. It separates not only bodies, but minds and spirits. It inflicts spiritual and physical homicide upon the outer group. End quote. Now, as the founders exhorted their rights in this new territory, they made bold proclamations. And in their bold proclamation, this statement, okay, to assert their right to new freedoms. But the myth of inferior people was also flourishing here, and it contradicted their democratic ideal. Slavery, King continued, was not only ignored in defining democracy, but as it grew, it was also tolerated to create wealth and strengthen the nation. For over 2 centuries, Britain and the rest of Europe ravaged Africa. For 100 years afterward, the slave trade continued nonstop, even after it was declared to be illegal. King explains that this blood traffic was so immense that several European countries owed their wealth to it, and our New England states rested heavily on it for its development. Charles A. Beard is quoted as saying, "The stones of your houses are cemented with the blood of African slaves." In conservative numbers, 7 million Africans died in the transfer of human merchandise. Should you ever hear that Africans sold themselves into slavery, be sure to counter with the response that no one benefited more than the coffers of the monarchs of Europe, their wealth directly linked to the trade of human beings. Now, I'm sure that none of this sounds like any of your history classes or high school or college, nor does it sound like mine. But it does align with my studying other authors of Black history and writers who are committed to truth-telling. Given all of this wealth creating, there needed to be a way for leaders to justify their actions, lest the population who spoke of being free became sympathetic with the enslaved population. Initially, there were strong alliances developed between indentured servants, some black and white, as well as enslaved people. And during Bacon's Rebellion, which was 1676 to 1677, they were rising up against the wealthy landowners. Once the rebellion was put down and an agreement was made for negotiating, the wealthy turned the tables and injected ways to separate the white servants and the blacks. Race was interjected, providing privilege to the whites, a mere slap on the wrist, and lifelong punishment to the blacks, not honoring their indentured servitude. Enslavement had been legally established as an institution by 1650. Now I need to examine how enslavement was made socially acceptable among good Christian people. With such profit-making at stake, there needed to be a moral justification. That was the beginning of white supremacy. Religion and the Bible were cited and misused to create a narrative of black inferiority. How many of you remember the story of Noah, the man who built the ark? Sure. Even you youths know that story, right? Okay, I know you're not strong on Bible, but I know you know that. Okay. He built the ark when the world was flooded for 40 days. He was an interesting guy. He owned a vineyard, and he drank his wine, sometimes a little too much. Sometimes he would drink and get naked. One day he did this, and his son Ham saw him and told his brothers. They came and covered Noah up, and were upset that Ham did not think of covering Noah up. Now you may have heard of the curse on Ham's children for this behavior. It was Noah's curse on his descendants to be punished. This has been used as the justification for the ill treatment of the Canaanite people. And for some Jews, some Christians, and some Muslims, this is the explanation for people having black skin. Mind you, Ham himself was not cursed. And there is nothing in the Bible to suggest anything about skin color. Nothing. It's not there. So where did all of that creation? Fake news. Ooh, ancient fake news. Another example in the Bible is in the Second Testament, in Paul's writings, that, quote, servants must be obedient to your masters. Punishment was severe for those who disobeyed. In the beginning of our country, further justification was made for enslavement through universities, creating theories and schools of racial ethnologists. Terms such as species, genome, race were used to classify human beings, all of this creation, in order to make property a class, human property. We might think that white supremacist views had their origins with the uneducated, underprivileged, and poorer classes of whites. But the main architects were from the aristocracy, rich merchants, clergymen, men of medical science, historians, and political scientists from the leading universities in the nation. The most damning statement regarding solidifying the structure and support for the institution of slavery came as the result of the Dred Scott decision in 1857, just before the Civil War. The Supreme Court ruled and affirmed that the Negro had no rights that a white man was bound to respect. Let us unpack that and the implications of it. There are no truths that a black person can state that a white person is bound to respect. A black person's understanding of truth, of history, or experience, not respected. Not then and not today. You may have heard some white folks say, slavery wasn't harmful. The masters were kind and they took good care of their enslaved people. Because the truth of black voices and experiences were not respected. Blacks could not testify in court against a white person because they would not be respected. And this sentence was the cornerstone of the Jim Crow segregation era. Separate and very unequal. Wages withheld, education denied. Black Lives Matter is a phrase which stands firmly against being disrespected, and that has been politicized and demonized in our press. We know that. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is being dismantled after only a brief time in our laws and in our corporations. Someone saying, I cannot breathe, does not get relief. It only means you will not be heard, as Eric Garner and George Floyd and many others have found. The right to exist and be safe is challenged by that awful sentence of disrespect that has defined our social contract since the Dred Scott decision. We must tell the truth. The sentence still affects our interactions. Our eighth principle states, we will examine racism in ourselves and in our institutions because of this reality. Dr. King has called this statement a heresy against Christianity, against all of what Jesus taught. You know, he was a Christian preacher. Against love for neighbor, and to say it and follow it shows no love for one's maker or for oneself. This thinking harbors such hate and inhumanity, and it's devastating to the spirit. When we consider all the toxic messages that we take in that have groomed us in this society, this is the most alienating. We cannot take away another person's humanity, and yet that is our history. That is the truth of where we are. And we have fought well and hard against it. And the fight will have to continue, because there are those who do not want you to know their role in shaping this history. There are those who are resentful of any progress that has been made. They are continuing to ban books and close out courses in history to prevent you from knowing the truth. And we must fight against that. Now more than ever, we must hold to the truth. We must profess it, acknowledge it, and shout it out. We must hold to our moral core and remind ourselves we will not compromise the truth. For every lie that has been told about the lack of humanity in the people whose bondage has grown the wealth of this country, we are selling away our souls. The very thinking that created white supremacy is now boldly holding on in our government. They're removing any fact-checking from social media, no guardrails to protect us from oligarchy and fascism. My father fought in World War II, like many of your relatives did. This is not what we want for our country. We want truth, so we can live freely to love and bring about justice. That is the world we want for our children. So for Benjamin and Cora and all of our children, we have work to do for our values to truly live. The war we are fighting is a moral one. We will need to take each day and search out the good deeds, the work of justice, and the random acts of kindness that can take place and celebrate them. We do that, for that is what the spirit within us needs in order to thrive. We must elevate the truth when we hear it and share it widely. We will not despair by the things that might take place. We will arm ourselves with courage and determination. We are not alone in our quest for justice. We have the love of each other to ensure that we will not fail. As Dr. King has said, however difficult it is during this period, however difficult it is to live with the agony and continued existence of racism, however difficult it is to live amidst the constant hurt, the constant insult, and the constant disrespect, I can still sing, "We shall overcome." We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle was right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. We shall overcome because the Bible is right in saying, "You shall reap what you sow." With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children all over this nation, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
This is 1030. I'll go through it one time and then we'll all sing it together the second time. Join in if you want to anytime. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. Oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching. Oh, we are marching in the light of God. Come on. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God.
Michael. And we extinguish this flame, but the light of our love and community continues to shine in our hearts. Carry that light forward with you and share it with those you meet. Walk in grace and peace and truth until we are together again. I'll get that. And we will have, after our last music, a film that my husband would like to share with you of Dr. King's speech. We'll be showing it also tomorrow at our Always a Day On, Not a Day Off for MLK Day presentation luncheon by the African American Men of Westchester. We are providing scholarships for a number of students, maybe about 12 of them. Every year we have this event. And so we will be busy tomorrow doing something else, but that's a good thing. Blessings for that. Okay.
Speaking of which, I can't be singing louder than the lies when I'm gone. I can't be singing louder than the lies when I'm gone. I can't be singing louder than the lies when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
Oh, love technology. Oh, yeah, sure. Yes, yes, please. Thank you. Okay. All right, that's fine. I know tech. We all kind of know tech. Yeah, it's.